Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Achakwadash. And double honors, as always, to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who were well and who taught us truth. Today's lesson will be entitled, Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. And, we're seeing, things being brought out, and, we're living in scary times, perilous times, dangerous times, man. And the Lord is beginning to bring forth judgment upon, those who say that they're Israelites, but they're not doing the will of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai. They're just speaking and not doing, or they're saying and not doing. And, like I said, it's scary times. And speaking to myself first and foremost, I got to check myself before I wreck myself. We have to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves to make sure we're doing what is required of us, man, so that we don't fall into condemnation, fall into the judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai. So I got that meaning of check yourself before you wreck yourself. AI overview. It says check yourself before you wreck yourself means to carefully evaluate your own actions and behavior before you do something that could lead to negative consequences. So if you're not carefully evaluating yourself, day in and day out, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Am I pleasing the Lord? And am I walking the right path? Am I doing what the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai has required us to do? Because if you don't, then that's going to lead to, as it says, negative consequences. And that's something that we got to constantly do in this truth, man. Let's go ahead and get started. 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates? And the NLT, it says, verse 5. Examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. We got to constantly examine ourselves. Constantly, man. Let's see what that word examine goes into. That word examine, G3985, to try whether a thing can be done, to try, to make trial of tests for the purpose of ascertaining his quality of what he thinks of how he will behave himself. So is my qualities up to par? Is how I'm behaving myself, not even on camera, but off camera? Am I behaving myself that is respectable to Yahweh Shem Yashai? It says to try or test one's faith, virtue, character. Is my character up to par? Is my virtue up to par? Am I continuing to, fight off temptations? Am I continuing to fight off demons? Or am I letting those demons, run rampant within my mind? Am I allowing these demons to just run amok, to fester? It's like, am I allowing the devil to creep in? And am I fighting the devil back, right? Or am I just allowing the demon to overcome me? Because this is the conditions of the battle. Because what does it say? In Ecclesiastes 2:1, I'm already here. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So we got to prepare our soul for temptation, knowing that, demons are going to constantly, plague us, because this is a spiritual warfare. This is spiritual, man. Demons are going to constantly plague you. But are you doing what is required of you to fight those demons off? Are you constantly checking yourself? Because if you don't check yourself, you're going to wreck yourself. You're going to lead to negative consequences. Am I speaking properly? Am I saying the right thing? Am I conducting myself in a manner that is pleasing to the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai? We got to constantly examine ourselves. Speaking to myself first and foremost. So that was really all I wanted right there. Because we're going to constantly be tempted, man. Let's get that. And we got to fight off these temptations. This is the conditions of the battle. Salakia. Condition. Maybe it's just condition battle. Yeah, Second Ezra 7 and verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. We all have pressure. From every side, we're receiving pressure, man. And each individual's pressure, each individual demons is not going to be same to the next individual, the next brother. We fight our own demons. We walk our own path. We have pressure from beneath, from below, from the side, from every side. We're receiving pressure, man. So somebody's pressure is going to be different, but we're all going through, this battle, through this fight. And what did the Lord say real quick? I believe it's in the same chapter, 13 and 10. It might be 1 Corinthians 13 and 10. No, how's it go? Damn, how does it go, man? Going into will not put let's see if that's it. 10 and 13. Okay. Slack you for that. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you're able. So we're all going to go through these temptations, these trials, adversities, this pressure, these demons. But the Lord said, hey, I'm not going to give you too much that you can't handle. And the Lord, hey, if you can't handle it, then the Lord don't want you here, man. If the Lord allows you to be subdued and to go from righteousness to sin, not repenting and staying in that filthy convocation, in that filthy conversation, that filthy manner, and the Lord doesn't bring you out of that, and the Lord doesn't bring you back to this truth, then the Lord didn't want you here. Then the Lord allowed you to be subdued by that pressure, to be overcome by that pressure, by them demons, that adulterous demon, that eating pork demon. The Lord said, hey, I'm not gonna put too much on you that you can't bear. So if the Lord puts too much on you and you can't bear it, what does that mean? Then the Lord ain't with you, man, and you're doing something wrong. If the Lord is putting too much on you and you can't bear it, that means you're doing something wrong. So it says, 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, KJV, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you're able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may also bear it. That ye may be able to bear it. So we're seeing, individuals not being able to bear the temptations that the Lord is setting in front of that said individual. That's why we got to constantly check ourselves so that we don't fall into these temptations. Just constantly checking ourselves, praying to the Lord Yahweh day in and day out for the strength to endure, for the strength to fight these demons. Because it's not one individual going through one certain situation, man. All of us are fighting our own battles. It's not just one individual. It's not just two individuals. It's all of us, man. We are fighting this fight. So we got to continue to check ourselves. Speaking to myself first and foremost. 2 Ezra 7 and verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. This is the condition of the battle. And if you can't fight this battle, man, and you lose, then that's on you. We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing and enduring and constantly checking ourselves so that we don't end up like a said individual, so that we don't end up like one who could have been. Yeah, he could have been great. He should have been great. He would have been great. But he's not great because he fell off. We don't want to be like that. The one that could have been. Real quick. Because when you look, that's a saying as well. The one that could have been. This is why we constantly check ourselves so that we don't end up in this category. The one that could have been means a person or situation that had the potential to become something significant or important in someone's life, but ultimately did not happen. It refers, it won't let me show more, but it says it refers to a missed opportunity or a what if scenario where things could have turned out differently, often with the sense of longing or regret. Man. The one that could have been. He could have been something. We don't want to end up like that, man. You could have been that. You could have been great. You could have been this. That's why we got to constantly check ourselves so that we don't end up in this category. Could have been. We don't want to feel a sense of longing, of regret. Man, I wish I continued in this truth, man. I wish I didn't give up. I wish I checked myself. I wish I did this. I wish I did that. Second Ezra 7 and verse 58. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as thou said. So if we're going through this battle and you allow this battle, these demons, the pressure, the position to overcome you, then you're going to suffer. You're going to go through judgment. You're going to go through the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai. What does it say? It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And if you allow the pressure and the demons to fester within inside of you, you don't fight those demons, but you allow those demons to overcome you, you will fall into the hands of the living power. And you will be judged, man. You will become the one that could have been. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be the ones that's just been called into this. We don't want to be the examples of how not to be, what not to be like. We want to be called and chosen, man. And we won't know that until the very end. But while we're here and we've been called, we got to do what is required of us and examine ourselves daily. Give diligence to make thy call and election sure. Study to show thyself approved. Be not slothful in the spirit, but fervent. Constantly checking ourselves, man, so that we don't wreck ourselves. It says, verse 58, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as thou said. But if he get the victory, you overcome those demons. You overcome those thoughts. You overcome the pressure. You don't allow the pressure to overcome you, but you overcome the pressure. And what it say? But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say, what? Everlasting life, salvation, redemption, a crown, power, rulership, glory. We have forsaken all to follow thee. What shall we receive therefore? I'm going through all this pressure, Lord. I'm going through all this temptation. I'm going through all this hell. I'm fighting demons constantly. I've forsaken everything to follow you. And I'm continuing to endure. I'm not allowing these demons and this temptation to overcome me, but I'm continuing to endure, Yahweh Shai. What am I going to receive? Lord said, ye that follow me shall receive 100-fold. Sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the Most High is righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. You have forsaken all. You're continuing to endure. You're continuing to fight. You're continuing to fight off that pressure. I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you life, salvation, the promises, man. We got to continue to fight so that we don't end up like the example. We don't want to end up like the example, man. Back in 2 Corinthians, like 13 and verse 5 in the NLT. Examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. We're going to be tested. We're going to go. You want more wisdom? Then you're going to be put through tests that require more wisdom. You want more faith? You're going to be put in situations that require you to have more faith, trust, belief, strength, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, patience, temperance, stoicism. You want to be more rooted, more grounded. You're going to be put in situations that require these things, man. It says, continuing on, surely you know, Shalagi for that. It says in the NLT, surely you know that Yahushua Mashiach is among you. If not, you have failed. Come on, man. It says that surely you know that Yahushua Mashiach is among you. If not, you have failed the test of genuine faith. A lot of individuals are failing this test, man. A lot of individuals have failed this test, and a lot of individuals will fail this test. That's why we got to continue speaking to myself first and foremost. We got to continue to check ourselves so that we don't fail this test. We need to continue to check ourselves, man, so that we don't wreck ourselves, so that we don't fall into that negative consequence, that negative dark consequence. Man, I wish I didn't do that. Man, I wish I continued to check myself. I wish I checked myself when I became a little proud. I wish I checked myself when I was doing this, when I was doing that. I wish I repented, man. It's serious out here, man. And it's getting more serious. 2020, we just entered the third month. We just entered into our new year. We're less than 2 weeks away from Passover. And so much has happened already. And it's going to continue to ramp up because the Lord's judgment is not over. Far from it. This is only the tip of the iceberg, man. Warning it off right here. 1 Peter 4 and verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God, at the house of the Most High, man. And if it first begin at us, the Lord's judgment does not just, stipulate and just go to, those who don't know they're Israelites, who aren't following the truth of the Bible. It starts with those who know they're Israelites. It starts with the leaders, man. And if your faith is not genuine, then the Lord is going to find you out and bring forth that judgment upon you, man. Every idle word. It says, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel? And then NLT, for the time has come for judgment, and it must begin with God's household. We're seeing it, man, right before our very eyes. These words are faithful and true. The Lord's judgment is real. It's real, man. And it's scary. It says, and the judgment begins with us. What terrible fate awaits those who have not obeyed God's good news. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the spirit, to the body, to the fold. And before I end it off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Double honors, as always, to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.